I'm just accepting.
All right, this meeting of the advisory committee will begin. Today is Monday, August 1st, 2022. And Mr. Superintendent, could you call the roll?
Yes, sir. Mr. Bernard?
Here.
Ms. Petita?
Here.
Archer could not be here. Ms. Babbitt?
Here.
And Ms. Bourgeois?
Here.
Bill Moore?
Thank you very much. We'll get right into new business to receive the report from Cormel Bro with Norris Insurance Consultants regarding the renewal of the Lafourche Parish School Board flood insurance policies and take appropriate action. Ms. Bro.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. You should have in front of you our spreadsheet. Should look familiar. It's the same one that Ms. Norris has been using in past years. It's time to renew your flood policies. This board has 27 flood policies that come up for renewal in September. The majority of them are September 2nd, and then you have about 8 or 9 of them at the bottom of the list that come up September 5th. Few days difference there. When I'm looking at the premiums, I'm going to tell you to look all the way to the column at the far right of the page. That's your 2022 renewal being offered currently. And I have each one of them broken down so you can see them. And I did include the 2021 premium so you can see what the differences are. Some have increased a little, some have decreased a little. But overall, when you go to the bottom, the total at the bottom, you're going to see the expiring premium was at $134,771. And the renewal for those 27 policies this year, the same coverages and deductibles, is $136,756, about $1,900 increase over expiring. That is great. It's good, and this is because of the new flood rating that came out into existence in April of this year. It started April 1st of this year, and they rate the flood a little bit differently than what they have in the past. They don't just use the zone that it's in. They look at the size of the building, the age of the building. They take other things into account when they do that. So we do see some differences here. Now, the ones that you see where the premiums went down, that's great. The ones where you saw the premiums go up, you could see those keep increasing year after year because they put a cap on the amount, a percentage of how much the increase can be each year. So some of those you're going to see increase again next year, even though the rates may stay the same, because the cap, they only allow to go up a certain percentage each year on it. But overall, this is what we have for this year, and I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and renew these 27 policies, because if you don't, these are all in the special flood hazard zones. These are the ones that would be required for you to carry coverage on. FEMA would require this in order to make a claim if you needed to with them for extra help. If we don't renew any of these, and then next year you decide you want to get it again, then you're going to actually pay the true premium. There's no more, you're not grandfathered in on that actual cap that they can go up each year. So I'm going to advise that you go ahead and pay this renewal for this year. Any questions?
Can I get a motion, please? Yes. Okay, state the motion.
Yes, I motion that we accept the recommendations from Ms. Cormel.
Discussion. Any discussion?
Yes, I do have a question. I'm looking at one of the schools that's, considering the size of it, the amount. If we did something that would mitigate their flood risk, like, a little levy around it, no, that wouldn't change.
That's not going to change the actual zone that it's in. That's determined by the parish and the flood maps that the parish puts out. So no, building like a little levee or some type of surrounding wall, no, that's not going to help it.
Ms. Bourgeois.
I understand going up. That's logical. But what made it go, not that I'm
against it, but what made it go down?
It could be because of the age of the building, it could be the construction type, it could be the square footage of the building. They take all that into consideration now when they do the rates.
Any other questions? Any questions from the public concerning this presentation? Not? It's pretty cool. All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Passed
you.
unanimously. Thank you. All right, second order of business, to consider a change order request to remove the water damage wall padding caused by Hurricane Ida in the gymnasium at LaRose Cutoff Middle School, and to provide and install new wall padding with logos in designated areas. Mr. Blazer.
Yes, this is to replace the existing padding that was damaged during the storm. The reason why we're doing it now, we're going to wait until we do the interior repairs. But what we're doing, we're trying to get the gym up and running and functional all at one time. So what we're looking at is to take off the existing padding that was damaged due to the storm and replace it with the murals and the logos in place. So recommended action, well, sorry, you want to go through a motion or what?
Yes, can we have a motion?
Accept the change order request?
Do we have a second? Okay, sir.
If a recommended action would be to consider a request to remove the water damage wall padding caused by Hurricane Ida in the gymnasium at LaRose Cutoff Middle School, and to provide and install new wall padding with logos in areas where original padding was removed at a total cost of $9,529.
Other comments from the board? Any comments from the public? If not, let's vote, please. It is unanimous.
All right, thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
Two.
All right, the next item is to review requests received for board agenda items, and we have two participants, two ladies would like to review these requests, and we'll start with Ms. Vicki O'Shea. Is that correct? Is that close? Close enough. Okay. All right. As usual, for the record, you need to give your name and address, please.
Vicki Cloutier, Schriever, Louisiana.
All right, and then for committee meetings, you'll be allowed, unlike board meetings, 10 minutes, and to speak on this agenda item.
Okay.
Floor is yours.
I didn't know I was going to be speaking. I was just going to be, I'll be begging somebody to let me talk on Wednesday. The reason that I'm here is to request to bring up at the board meeting, which I have done once before. I was able to do it, I think, on one of the items that had to do with lunch money, and this very much has to do with lunch money. It's regarding the USDA's interpretation of discrimination under Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972 and the Food and Nutrition Act. And basically what it is the administration has handed down a proposed rule change that would basically force girls and boys to share bathrooms, locker rooms, and showers in the event there is a shower in that school. To comply with the change that they want to make, or the punishment would be that they would pull federal funds from the lunch money program for low-income people. I have spoken with Mr. Jared, and I have a little bit better understanding of probably where he's coming from. What we are really advocating for is anything that is of a constitutional nature or a rights nature, and we're just really asking for transparency. Parents do not know about this. The general public really does not know. You know, these are the kinds of things that you go to sleep one night and you wake up the next morning and there's something that you never heard of, and it seems to be getting us close to law, pretty close to law. So we believe that parents need to know, and that you guys as administration and a school board would be willing to take a stand that says, you know what, we're going to protect the children, and we're not going to do that. We're going to say no, we're not going to comply. You know, when something like this comes up, the tendency is to scramble, and because it's coming from the federal government, then all of a sudden you start thinking, well, I better do everything I can to comply so I'm not in trouble. But it's not a law, and it's in the very beginning stages, but they do want to impose this on our babies, on our babies. They want to say it's okay for boys to go into girls' bathrooms. That's not okay. Or girls to go into boys' bathrooms. And at a time in their lives when they don't know what the heck's going on, you know? And I know that none of you would ever ask for this. I know that. We know that. You know, this is not something that any of the school districts across the country have asked for. But here we are. And so, you know, we believe that in Lafourche, Parish, South Louisiana, that we can take a stand and say, you know what, for us, we're not going to comply with that. If we have to find other means to feed low-income students, there are options out there, many options. In fact, we've already started doing some research on that. So, you know, if you don't want to operate out of fear, because usually if you're fearful, then you want the government to do more. If you're not fearful, you're fine with it being less. And so we would like for the public to know, we would like for it to come from you guys. And, you know, I don't want to see parents send their kids to school in a couple of weeks and find out after the fact, oh, this is brewing, that this might be a thing, you know, that would happen in the school. We believe that it would be best coming from you guys, and let them know, hey, we know this is out there. This is what they're saying. We want you to know that we do not intend to comply with putting boys in girls' bathrooms. So that's what we want to talk about, educate and inform, really, is what it is.
Okay, next lady to talk. Let's see, excuse me, Gail Navarre, Miss Navarre.
I'm Gail Navarre, for some of you who I worked with in the parish many years ago. And I am a retired Lafourche Parish school teacher, a parent of 2 girls, and a grandparent of several. So this Vicki really understands so much more than I do about the laws and the things and all that kind of stuff. I want to talk to you from my heart. This is wrong. We all know it's wrong. And it's bullying at the highest level. I can take it a step further. It's blackmail. It's what our Biden administration is doing to the public, to the citizens. And all we're asking for at this point is for you to know that we stand with you, not against you ever. We stand with you in support of finding ways to overcome this. Jeff Landry, I don't know how many of you saw that one of his last articles he wrote, but he addressed the fact he went through lots of stuff along with the lawsuit that is pending and this kind of stuff and everything. And we're very grateful to him for all he's doing and saying in support of the citizens of Louisiana. But in his last line, I think he made it very clear, we will not submit to this. That comes from our state leaders. So I think we, as a parish, can support that. And that's where we want to stand. There's lots of parishes out there scampering around, like Vicki said. We've seen a couple of them. A couple of them are parochial schools. I know it's a lot easier and it's a different can of worms. I understand that. But you know what? We need those people at this time too. We need to take a stand because this is a spiritual matter. That's my belief. Maybe not, I shouldn't speak for everyone in the room. That's what's going on here. And the fact that all this is happening is just wrong. And I think most of you feel that, you know that. Let's stand together and do something about it. That's it.
Thank you very much. For the purpose of the discussion on this matter, I do have a motion that I'd like to present to the committee, and we'll discuss it. And the motion is I move to postpone this agenda item until further clarification can be obtained as to the responsibilities of the state and the local school districts on gender equality issues in public schools. Do I have a second? A second? Okay. All right. For the purposes of discussion, let me lead off by saying we are in full compliance of all federal mandates, and presently that pertains to discrimination laws and Title IX mandates. I know the superintendent has talked to you all, or some of you, by phone or in person, and that we do not allow discrimination of any kind in our schools. We do have gender-neutral bathrooms at all of our schools. We will continue to support Title IX mandates, and we will never deny lunches to kids based on gender. And we will always correspond or follow the child nutrition program as it pertains to feeding children, regardless of their gender. And let me say this as well. In reading the newspaper today, I found out that Louisiana has joined multiple states, in this particular case, 21 other states, and in a lawsuit for the administration's enforcement of federal anti-discriminatory laws. And until that is settled, there will be no change in our position. We do follow everything that I told you. You have presented in front of the board 2 months ago on your position. Since then, clarification across all levels has not changed. With that in mind, that is the purpose of my particular motion. Are there any other comments from the board? Any comments from the public?
I just think we cannot be naive about the fact that they're not going to push the issue. They're not going to be. I mean, I appreciate the fact that neutral, gender neutral bathrooms, but I don't really think that's their intent to stop there. And I think we just need to be aware that this is not going away. I mean, this particular thing may blow over, but they're coming back at us, and I just think that's not,
I concur with JL. I think we really all know this, that if that is really their agenda, then a onesie gender neutral bathroom is not going to satisfy the federal government, because then they will consider that discrimination. And then they will say, well, you are discriminating if you don't allow that boy to be in the girls' bathroom. So that is why we feel like this is the time to be firm and to take a stand. What will happen in the future, we don't know. How we handle it in the future, we may not know. But waiting to see what the federal government, tries to pull over on us, we're just going to do whatever the Fed's saying. And I know that as a school system, you have to be very cognizant of federal law. But I think that there are definitely cases where you can, as a school board, say no, and if you have to do it legally, you do it legally. Are the children worth fighting for? That's my question. Is it worth fighting for? And I think that they are. I think that we have to stand before them and explain to them why we did what we did. We need to be on their side.
Let me just say this. we have to follow the laws that now exist. And until there's clarification at the federal level, our position will remain the same. With that said, that's my opinion. Okay. With that said, let's vote. I'm sorry, Ms. Bourgeois, you have additional?
I just want to say thank you for bringing it to our attention, because, you know, sometimes the federal government is kind of sneaky. I don't want to use the word sneaky, but, you know, does things without, in a group of things that you don't always read the fine print, I should say. So thank you for bringing it to our attention, and it's something that we definitely will watch, you know, and like Mr. Bernard said, we have to get more clarification on it. We don't necessarily always like what the federal government tells us to do, and we try to do it to our best that we can to follow the letter of the law. But there are some things, I guess, like the general neutral bathrooms that we can bring in there. But thank you for bringing it to us, and we definitely will keep a close eye on it. But more clarification is definitely what is needed.
Understand that this particular motion, in no way does it postpone it indefinitely. Okay? It just postpones it until we receive additional clarification. If we were to postpone it indefinitely, that would be a different story. Okay, with that said, let us please vote.
Yes.
That's the vote.
Okay, we have 3 to postpone and 1 nay. Thank you, ladies. I know that you will keep us involved, and we appreciate your time. And believe me, we know that this is ongoing. Thank you very much. All right, with that said, we need to review the agenda for the regular board meeting, and okay, the opening of the meeting, called to order, in the invocation by Tyler Dufresne, District 8, the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, roll call to recognize Mr. Tyler Dufresne, School Board Member, District 8, for his services to the Lafourche Parish School Board. We will have a flag.
Oh, my light bars up behind me.
Okay, we'll introduce new administrators as well. The approval of board consent agenda, approval of board consent agenda items. Minutes of the regular board meeting held July 6, 2022. Approval of land and facility management committee recommendations as per meeting held July 19, 2022. To approve a change order request to add 11 additional days to the contract due to inclement weather for the month of June 2022 for the Thibodeau Middle School project. To accept the low bid in the amount of $149,500 from LLJ Environmental for the Hurricane Ida Building Number 7 demolition project in Bayou Blue Elementary School. To approve a change order request to install a temporary gas line to feed the clothes dryers located in the field house at South Lafourche High School in the amount of $4,638.55. To approve a change order request to install a signature line on the basketball line to read Coach Foul Felt Court on the new gym floor at the Rose Cutoff Middle School in the amount of $514. Approval of Finance Committee recommendations. To approve revisions to the fiscal year 2022 operating budget. To adopt the 2022-23 salary schedule effective July 1st, 2022. Approval of academic committee recommendations. To approve the revised 2022-2023 academic school calendar. Approval of advisory committee recommendations. New business to consider revising policy BC board meeting, changing the meeting time from 7 to 6 p.m. Memorial resolutions, Mrs. Gloria Lavish, retired school bus driver. Mrs. Melda Rogers, retired head janitor. Superintendent's update. Receive an update from Superintendent Martin on the current operations within the district. Tentative dates of future meetings, and as already explained, dependent upon the agenda, some of these might be combined together, some of them might be eliminated. The days might change depending upon whether they are combined or not. But as of now, the Policy and Procedure Committee will meet on Tuesday, August 16th. Transportation Committee, Tuesday, August 16th. Academic Committee, Tuesday, August 16th. Insurance Committee, Wednesday, August 17th. Finance Committee, Wednesday, August 17th. Lands and Facility Management Committee, Wednesday, August 17th. Advisory Committee, Tuesday, September 6th. Regular board meeting, Wednesday, September 7th. The executive session. Consider entering into executive session to receive and review the superintendent's proposed professional growth plan and complete the development of said plans for the upcoming school year as per policy CEI, evaluation of the superintendent. B, to return to regular session. Adjournment to adjourn the meeting. And with that said, is there any additions or corrections to the regular school board meeting as read? None? If not, meeting is adjourned.